Okay, I'm going to talk about. I've still not finished my whole going to the Bog saga. Plenty more to go on that, but I'm going to. It was, I believe, World Mental Health Day the other day, so it seems an appropriate time to talk about the mental health aspect of things. Now, um, I'm a separate case in the sense it's a chicken and egg. Like, I had issues, always say, before I was ever had the first symptoms of what I have now, which is Crohn's, Behçet's, whatever. But anyone with a long term kind of a long term disability or a illness or anything like that, something, chronic pain sufferer, will be able to tell you that the first thing that goes is your tolerance. Like, your tolerance just disappears because all your tolerance is focused on dealing with the constant pain that you're in. All your tolerance is on that. It's on just getting through the day. Getting through the day, despite the fact everything hurts and you want to just curl up and die in bed. You get up and you get on with your day, and all your tolerance goes into that. So as soon as somebody else tries your tolerance in any way, it's gone. You haven't got any, and it makes you look like the most stroppy bastard. It really does, and I am a stroppy bastard, but it's because my tolerance is being used up somewhere else. So don't piss me off. All right, I'm already pissed off enough as it is. Don't need you pissing me off as well. So, I mean, yeah, tolerance, that goes, and I don't think I'm alone there. In fact, I know I'm alone there because it does. It's just, and it's so bloody tiring. Do you know what I mean? It's so bloody tiring to be in pain all the time. It's exhausting. You don't sleep properly, so that's exhausting. When you're in pain, it takes a lot more energy to do anything, so that's exhausting. It's mentally exhausting trying to cope with it. So it's just really, you're tired on top of that. So that's even less tolerance because you're sleep deprived virtually all the time. Um, so yeah, loss of tolerance, and then of course you can go through such a long period of having that kind of inner conflict with yourself, accepting when it's a long term thing, accepting that's what you're stuck with, and that it is a long term thing, and that your life has profoundly changed as a result, and isn't ever going to be what it was. Um, and it can be really painful admitting that to yourself. It is really painful admitting it to yourself. It's really painful adjusting. It took me a long time to adjust. And I would say I got to a period about, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, where 3.5 years ago, where I think I'd adjusted to it quite well, and I was kind of accepting of my life the way it was. And then something happened that screwed it all up and set me just back to, because yeah, accepting that change can really be depressing. There's a lot of things that are taken away from you. I mean, food, for example, everything that you like to eat, gone. Everything that you like to drink, gone. Um, friendships change. They do. I mean, that sounds like a stupid thing to say to people, maybe, but you don't understand unless you've got the same sort of thing. Friendships change because people start to view you as a chore or a burden, especially when somebody well-meaning kind of goes behind your back and tries to put the responsibility for your emotional stability onto your friends. And so that just makes you even more of a chore to them. Of course they do, I mean, nobody else is responsible for my emotional stability, only me. And my friends are responsible for nothing. They're just my friends. So, but they do, a lot of them start to see you as a chore and something they're obliged to do, coming for the odd visit. And it's like, well, I'm not a chore. And if that's how you see me, don't. just don't come round because I don't want you to, unless you actually want to and you enjoy my company. But yeah, you start to be seen as a patient, I suppose, eventually, by a lot of people, and that really sucks. That really sucks, and that's hard to adjust to when you've been a very independent person your whole life. Um, and that again, that's really depressing as well. With that change in relationships with people, and the way they see people who were previously your peers and had respect for you, now sort of see you as a wee sweetie pie, a wee soul that needs looking after, and so that there's that, all of that really. So and because of that, I suppose you start out with a bit of social anxiety. I mean, that goes hand in hand with the toilet thing, not knowing where or when. So that makes you socially anxious in the first place. Because you don't want to have to have a crap in somebody else's house and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And so yeah, and you just get, I don't know, because you do know that the way people see you has changed. You don't want to be around people who see you that way. You know, you want to be around people who want to be around you, who find you interesting and stimulating, not who find you someone that we should take for a good night out, that sort of thing. No, I don't want that. I'd rather be on my own with my animals. And so I quite often am. And again, other people in my position are quite often that way. You go into voluntary isolation and just cut yourself off from people because it's easier than dealing with their poor reaction to your illness. Yeah, it's just easier to cut yourself off from it. Um, you know, it totally trashed my last actual relationship where I was living with somebody because he just couldn't cope with it at all. And he was the king of calling me lazy when I was sick. Lazy, okay. But so yeah, so in that voluntary isolation, it is, you're doing it for your own good because you don't want to be made to feel small and like a chore or a burden. But it's hard as well because it'd be nice. It's nice when people see past what you have and see what you are, and it's hard when your older friends forget who you are and only see what you are. Anyway, so yeah, all of those reasons, things are things that affect your mental health when you've got a condition like mine. So don't be a cunt to people that have got chronic pain. Don't be mean to them. Life's shitty enough for them. They're in constant pain as it is. And if they're stroppy with you, take a breath. Take a breath and realise that they probably know they're out of order, but they're so frazzled that they can't help what comes out of their mouth sometimes. That's not an excuse at all. It's not an excuse, but it's a reason. It is a reason, and it's a real one. So, and if they're anything like me, when I've said something really shitty to somebody, generally my mother, because she's the first in the firing line, she's the closest, she'll always hit the people closest. So she's in the firing line, and so if I've been out of order and said something horrible, I'll also be the first to apologise for it because I know that I've been horrible and said something horrible. But she's just, usually barraged me with questions in that 10 minutes post toilet where you should just leave me the fuck alone. She hasn't learned that one yet. Anyway, okay. Happy crapping, crampers. Hi, crappers.